All right, good morning everyone. Back out here on Lake Oneida. Got here yesterday. I think we got on the water around 6:30, started to fish around 7 probably. Not gonna lie, challenging day to say the least. Couple perch, no walleye. Temperatures flew up. It was 90 by the time I got off the lake yesterday at around 11:30. Day 2 though, so we're gonna go head up. I'm gonna go up on the other side. I'm gonna go up on the north end. Gonna try a little bit of shallow jigging, and then see where it goes from there. We'll see if we can mark some fish, get on them, and get some in the boat. I just realized I forgot my net, so it might even be a little bit more challenging. But beautiful morning. Lake is flat. Ton of mayfly hatch rinds on the water, which definitely won't help us, but it's heat wave walleye, so we'll do the best we can, and hopefully we'll have a good day. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. All right, well, that's a good sign. First cast hookup. Let's see what we got here. So I found a spot about 18, 19 feet of water. Marked quite a few fish. Looks like a perch. Yep, and I didn't even catch him in the mouth. I caught him in the side, so maybe it's not a good sign. Little guy. But I know we had to mark a bunch of fish here, so figured I'd spot lock here for a minute and see. You can even see on there's quite a few fish hanging out right here, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going with the blade bait, Wonder Bread blade bait. I'm thinking with this heat, these fish are probably gonna find some deeper water, and there's a ton of stuff in the water. A whole lot of rinds from the mayflies. Quite a few moving around down there. I don't know if they're walleye, but there is a lot of movement. So there's a bunch over here, and they're set up in a kind of like a walleye pattern, the way they're stacked in there. So we'll focus on this side a little bit, see if we can get these guys to hop on our bait here. All right, we're finally on with something here, a little heavier. I'm not sure what it is, but the wind picked up a little bit, and it might be a smallmouth because we're coming up into some shallower water. I came up out of about 20 feet. I don't have a net either, so we're on our own. Oh, it's a walleye. Look at that. There we go. That's a good one too. All right. So blade bait, about 20 feet. Let's see here. He flipped it onto himself. All right. So I picked up this blade bait yesterday at the bait store. He's about 15. That's a good one. That's definitely a keeper. So, all right, we're on the board finally. So just letting it go out. And we'll let him go. Just catching bottom, and picking it up off bottom, letting it go back down, and just repeat. Pretty simple pattern. We had about 3 perch that weren't on. I wasn't filming at the time, and I think I was just on perch. So we'll put a waypoint here. So one on blade. I think with that wind picking up, that's definitely going to help us. It was dead calm when I first got out here, and that is just not good. So having that wind is definitely helpful. So he hit that on the way down because I pumped it up and then I felt the pole go down. So he whacked it on the way down, which is very normal. It's supposed to be warm again today, so we'll see. We'll fish it as long as we can until we can't take the heat anymore. It got unbearable yesterday. You know, for what we were hit-wise, what we were getting, it just wasn't. It wasn't really worth it. So what we're looking for is that reaction strike. There's so many mayflies in this water. I just have a feeling that if we're going to get hits today, it's going to be reaction bites. So that blade bait, when it flutters, it vibrates down in there. And these I1 blade baits are fantastic. They get down fast, set easy, and they're just a great bait. Oh, I think we're on again. Let's see what we got here. Feels a little heavier. Spot here. Oh, now I'm caught in the car. All right, we finally found some fish. So he's probably a keeper, I would say. Good size. We got into two. So black dotted gold blade bait. I'll show you guys what I'm using here. So this is the one. I1 blade bait's got a little kill dot. Well, it's not a kill dot, but it's got the red on the front. All right, so I got us in spot lock right now. We'll hold right here and see if we can come up with a pattern. I am seeing them on, actually seeing them on both. I'm seeing them on regular sonar, but I'm seeing fish on the live scope. So there's a little hump right out in front of us here. It's not anything too great, but it must just be enough for some fish to hold up there. And they're definitely getting on. That's the second one in this spot. So we came up on top of that waypoint, and sure enough, picked up number 2. All right, so with those 2 fish, I was set up kind of perpendicular to the line that we were fishing, casting as far as I can down there. So maybe they're a little boat sensitive. I don't know. I'm set up, instead of that 50, 60 foot mark away from the fish, they're like 100. So I'm casting, and luckily the wind is blowing that way. So, I can easily cast 90 to 100 feet with this, letting it go down to the bottom and then, working that cadence up toward the boat. And it seems like that's when they're picking it up. They're picking it up on the way down, which is kind of normal. I think I said that, but the fluttering action of that of that blade bait, the vibration, they pick that up and then they track it down to the bottom and they actually pin it to the bottom, and then that's when you pick them up. But yeah, it seems like the fish are down there in a line. We're up here perpendicular to that and a spot lock, and we're casting down into them. I may just let us go down maybe another 20 feet or so just to get a little bit closer, because I think I'm on the outer edge, and I don't know if I'm reaching them or not. I think we were down just a little bit when we caught that first one, and then I came back around and spun back around. So I'm gonna take us out of spot lock, and I'm gonna let us just float down just a little bit until I pick them up on the live scope. So I'm out about, I have the live scope stretched out about 95 feet, which is a little bit far for that. Usually after about 75 feet, things start to break up a little bit, but you get a real clear picture within that 75 feet. So I'm gonna drop the spot lock and let the wind just take us down there a little bit. And we'll kind of just drift into it. And then I'll put us back in spot lock if we get on top, you know, not on top, but within a little bit better range of those fish. So you can see well, I don't know if you can see, that's a pretty far cast, but I don't know that the drift will work either, because I think we'll get going too fast with this breeze that we have here. So I could throw a bag out and just drift, but I want to kind of stay in this general area. I don't want to drift too far past. You know, within this probably few 100-yard range is where I want to be. So we're starting to come up on that slope. That slope goes just like that, and it's not much. It's only like a 2 foot. It's a 2 foot difference, but they're lined up on that little shelf there. So one of the things that I don't talk about that much is the rods and reels. This is a Lew's. It's a custom XP. This is a great rod for walleye casting. It's a carbon rod. I have it was a set. So it's a Lew's reel. It's an XP 20A, and I have 20-pound braided on there, and then tied on, you know, maybe, I don't know, like a 15-foot 10-pound leader. I like to keep the leader a little bit long, because you cut a lot off when you're casting and changing bait. So I want to say it's probably 15 to 20 feet long, tied on, and it's a good solid rod, and you can feel pretty much everything on there, especially when you're running this blade bait. But haven't had any problems with it. It was fairly inexpensive, so it's one of those ones where if you throw it in the bottom of the boat and something happens to it, you don't feel too bad about it. You could just kind of toss it in the garbage and go get another one. I mean, I wouldn't say it's that cheap, but it's not a $300 rod and reel setup, so it definitely is well worth the money. And you know, I've been running these both since last year, and you know, just lubricated the reel, and no problems at all. I also have a Trica rod, which is a little bit better, a little bit more expensive, and it's a Trica 3X 7-foot rod, and honestly, the feel is almost the same. You might be able to feel a little bit more on that one, but as you can see, the one I have in my hand is the Bass Pro one. The other one is sitting over there with the Ned rig on it, and I haven't touched it. But you know, both good rods, especially when you're casting a walleye. All right, let's see what we can do here. We're in about 16 feet of water, and I'm still seeing fish, so I'm just going to go with the drift a little bit. Maybe we'll run into something. I know it gets really shallow. Obviously, there's an island over there, but I don't want to run up in that shallow. But I wouldn't mind casting into the shallow just to see if there's anything going on in there, because I have not fished the super shallow water. My intention this weekend is that these fish with this heat are probably moved out a little bit deeper, and you know, they're not hanging on to the shorelines like they would have been early on in the year, coming off the spawn. And we're starting to get a little roll now. The wind died down a little bit though, so it'll calm down quick. Yeah, if we catch just the edge of that shallow there, that would be great. I'll cast into the shallow and drag it out down the slope. And if that doesn't work, we're gonna go back up to that waypoint and take one more shot down. We'll drift over it at least, give it a, so we ended up with 2 fish there. That was, we were definitely marking fish. I don't want to go away from them. But I'm still marking fish, so we'll try to stay on top of them here, but I don't want to leave the general area too much and get off of them. All right, we're on here. Same drift. Looks like we got another walleye. Little guy, but well, look at how we got him. We had him in the tail. He hit it and then he probably turned, and I picked up a little bit later on it and probably hooked him in the tail. Small guy, but they're here. There's no doubt about it. Get him back. So that's number 3. 2 keepers, 1 short so far. So we're on the drift now. So I have a drift bag out to slow us down. We're holding probably a 1/2 to 3/4 mile an hour drift, which is perfect. And we're doing the same thing. Cast out perpendicular to where the fish are laying, and we'll just keep running that edge. If I have to run back up there, I'll run back up there. So not too bad so far. 3 fish, well, more than that, bunch of perch, but I had probably had the camera off. Oh, there's another one. Yep. All right, we're right in them now, I think. Let's see what we got here. Another eye. This is short for sure. Get him back. Definitely got a pattern, so that's 4. All the way out, we're letting it drift down, touch bottom, and then as we drift closer to it, we're pulling it up, and we're just keeping the same cadence. Reel down as it's going back down, and they're feels like they're hitting it on the way down, so as we bring it back up, we're setting it. All right, so far day 2 is turning out to be better than day 1, I could tell you that. Well, I think it was worth coming up early because we did get on the lake and we got out for a little while. Otherwise we wouldn't have gotten out at all yesterday. So if I had left at all later, it would have just been too unbearable with the heat. I mean, right now it's probably pushing 80 degrees. Lucky we have that wind at our back to keep us cool, because it will get hot out here. I'm hoping that we can fish until about 11. It's about 8:15 right now. It's gorgeous out here. Like, it's perfect. It's warm, but that wind is keeping us cool. If that wind dies down, it's going to get hot fast. So we want to get in every minute we can. The plan is to hopefully come back later tonight and see if we can get an evening bite. But this will probably be, we'll see what the wind is doing. Hopefully it stays in this direction. This is ideal. When the wind comes out of the east, and it would, you know, with it blowing like it is, it would be rolling here, make it difficult. So the guys down the other end are probably getting rolled to death about right now. So thankfully we got the wind today. In fact, this is probably the only time I've ever been up here where the wind was coming out of the west. Every time I come up here, it's coming out of the east, and you're getting chopped up. Sometimes it makes it miserable, but today, not bad at all. Easy to maneuver around, perfect drift speed. I mean, we're going a half a mile an hour. That's ideal. Can't complain. So I'm still marking fish, so I'm gonna ride this out a little longer. We'll see. Maybe they're, you know, like I said earlier, maybe we're on the outside edge of it, and we'll see. It looks like I have fish still marked at least 50 feet away on the Garmin, so I'm going to cast down beyond them, and you know, that's easy, 120 feet that I'm able to cast, especially because I have the wind blowing with me here, so it works out good. This is an ideal drift. And they may be just a little boat shy too, you know, with the longer cast. We're not right on top of them. Yesterday I fished it a little closer to the boat. We did some trolling, but I also fished it tight to the boat, trying to get a little work with the Garmin in. And you know, sometimes it's good to turn this thing off and just fish. It's a great tool, but you know, if you're gonna stay within the limits of that piece of equipment right there, you know, 75 feet, you can stretch it out. It's harder to find your bait. At that 75-foot mark though, it works perfectly to track. You know, right now I'm using it more to see what's out in front of me than to actually utilize it to put the bait in front of the fish's mouth. Sometimes you could get fixated on, you know, a couple fish that are on the bottom, and you're better off just fishing like you normally would. So the pattern that I'm taking is I'm kind of going right to left, 5 casts as we move down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that gives me a pretty good spread on, you know, what's in front of me, and the fish will move around, of course, but I think it's working out well so far. Now the big thing is you want to keep that same cadence. When you catch a fish, you kind of you got to remember what you were doing. Again, you know, and I've stressed this in other videos. It's all about finding the fish, finding a pattern, and then setting a track to stay on those fish. And I think we're close today. I think we found the pattern. I think we found the right bait for right now anyway. And you know, we're going to keep doing the same thing over and over, and that's key. And it's, you know, walleye, trout, it doesn't matter. You want to set that pattern up. And these guys are a little deeper today than earlier in the spring. There's no doubt about that. So for heat wave walleye, not too bad. Picking up 4. I mean, the conditions are pretty good right now, so I would expect we might get a couple more here. All right, we're hooked up again. I don't know what we got here, but I moved up to the front to give me a little bit more room. And first cast, he whacked it. So let's see what we got here. Oh, that might be a big bluegill. That's a huge bluegill. Wow, is that a nice gill? Look at that baby. That is a gorgeous bluegill. Holy cow. That's a slammer. Slammer bluegill. Don't need that. Look at that. He's probably a 1 pounder. We'll get him back. He hit it just like a walleye. He's probably bigger than a couple of those walleye that we caught. All right, so I'm on the back end of where we were catching fish, which is right up in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the drift bag in, and we're gonna take another spin all the way back up there, and we're just gonna drift back down. I'm kind of not seeing anything on either the live scope or side scan. It's hard to see because we're not really moving fast enough, but even on the sonar I'm not picking anything up. So let me get everything picked up, we'll get moved back up in there, and I'll catch you guys in a minute. All right, I think we're hooked up on something here. Let's see what we got. Either that or I got a massive wad of weeds. No, it's definitely something. I feel the head shake. Oh, he lost him. We lost him. Okay, that's all right though. That was a good pull too. All right, we're hooked up again. 2 casts, 2 hookups. So let's see what we got here. And it's a baby perch. Okay, well, we might be in a school of perch here, which will move out if we are. If I catch another one, we're gonna move. Clearly my marks on the screen are perch, but man, they look big to be perch. I don't know. They're kind of just holding bottom. Oh, there we go. There we go. This is a little bit bigger. It feels bigger anyway. Unless I caught him sideways. Let's see what we got. I think it's an eye. Not a big one, but it's a walleye. We sideswiped them again. Back hooks went in the side of him, front hooks went in his face. Definitely not a keeper. Little short guy. But it gives us a limit for the day anyway. So we'll get him back in. So we're on some fish here again. All right, let's see what happens. 2 casts. I missed one, and then caught that little perch, and then just that cast there was able to hook up. So let's try it again. Let's see what happens. So that was number 5 on the day. I don't know how many perch. I didn't really keep track. So I'm gonna say a dozen. There was a bunch when I wasn't filming. And then that one nice bluegill. So good morning so far for how hot it is. It is hot out here. It's all of 80 degrees. Water temperature, surface temp is almost 80 degrees. So you know how hot it got yesterday to take it up that far, because it wasn't even close to that when we got here. And they're calling for more of it today. It's already starting to get a little steamy out here. So my plan is fish until I can't take it anymore, which is probably going to be about 11, maybe 12 o'clock. I could stretch it out, go get some lunch, get back to the room, cool off, go relax, close my eyes for a few hours, and then I want to try to come back later on tonight for the evening bite, maybe about 6 o'clock or so. I'm thinking that might be the time. We'll see how hot it gets, because it almost didn't cool off last night until probably, it was dark, and it was still warm out, like heavy warm. All right, we're on with something a little bit bigger for sure this time. He gave it a good yank, pinned it to the bottom, and he just stayed down. I don't know, it might be a sheephead. Is it a sheepy? Either that, or maybe we have him caught in the side too, I don't know. This might be the fish of the day here today. Let's see what we got here. Loosen my drag a little bit. Oh, looks like an eye. Oh yeah, I got him hooked on the side. It's all right, we'll take him. He's close to a keeper size. Let's get him back in. Nice little guy. So here's what we did. You can see where the waypoint is right there. So basically what we did was we went up on top of that waypoint multiple times up here, and we went and just drifted down across. And it looks like these fish are on transition. So the transition here is right there. That's a shallow. We're probably about 20 feet there to that 15 foot where the lighter blue is. So we just drifted there. Now I moved over here. You can see this line. This is where I started the big engine and moved over here. There's another transition right here. So you see there's like 15 foot of water, and then we're parked on right on the edge of where it drops off to about 20, I don't know, maybe 22 feet. And we're casting into that deeper water and basically just dragging it up the the slope. Long cast though seems to be the key for the day. So we're taking that 100-foot cast away from the boat. I think the fish are a little bit boat shy, and it seems to be working well. The sun is covered somewhat, so I'm going to stick around out here for a little while. I was planning on going in at 11. It's about 10:30 now. Let's see what the weather does. Still running the same blade bait, and I caught all of the walleye on this blade bait. So again, it's an I1 blade bait. It's a new color from what I understand, and it has done its duty today. So I'm going to keep chucking it and see what happens. So I'm going to keep fishing, and I got to change the battery because we're almost out. I'll throw a new battery in, and then I'll fire it back up. All right, that's going to about do it for me for the morning. Pretty good morning overall for what conditions we had. We had some help with the wind, and we had some pretty good bites when that picked up. But I think the key to the whole thing is obviously finding the fish, and I'm like a broken record with that. I talk about that all the time. You got to locate fish. You can't make them bite, but you can certainly find them. Develop a pattern, and then get yourself on a track, whether it be trolling or like today we were drifting a little bit and jigging. It really it shrinks that area that you need to cover. This lake is absolutely massive, so if you're fishing empty water, you're going to go for a boat ride that day. But I think we found some fish today. Luckily the wind did pick up a little bit. We had success with our newest blade bait. In fact, let me get so these are Bad Boy blade bait, and it's made by I1 Baits, and I think that company is local to Oneida up here, but I know they have some available online if you guys are looking for those. So we finished the day with 6 walleye, 3 keepers, 3 shorts, a bunch of perch, a couple nice ones, a couple decent perch, and 1 massive bluegill. Hopefully I captured that on the video. So I'm going to turn it in. We got the sun is full overhead right now, so it's starting to get hot. Somebody's turning the temperature up. We have 0 wind, and that means it's time for me to get off the water, get the boat on the trailer, go have some lunch, rest up, and maybe come back later in the afternoon. I have to keep an eye on the weather because you know, with this heat, it tends to bring up those big thunderstorms, and you definitely don't want to get caught out here in a thunderstorm. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you'll hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you next time on the water.